Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our next live stream. I'll be your producer for this session. Before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional, and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters to answer live. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Reactor channel. With that, I'd love to turn it over to our speakers for today. Thank you for joining.
Hey everyone, we're ready to party.
Yeah. All right. Good morning or good evening, good day everywhere, wherever you're at. I know we've got a multi-continental cast here already. Timu is in Finland, I believe, and Lakshmi, I just saw you posted you're in Atlanta.
Yes.
I'm normally from South Carolina, but I spend my summers up in Michigan, where it is really, really smoky and hazy from the Canadian wildfires. So just trying to keep the kids calm and not run around too much. But everybody, again, welcome to what I think is going to be one of the most fun and interesting sessions that we're going to put on during Data Days, which is talking about community, which, all these Data Days things are about the community. Obviously, we're trying to teach people lessons about Fabric and how to get certified and about Power BI. But one great way to learn all these things is to get involved, grow your network, meet people. And that's what we're really going to focus on in this session. We'd like to hear from all of you. So please, in the chat, if you haven't already done it, tell us where you're from. And just let us know what your involvement is with the community already, or how you'd like to get involved. We've got some great moderators in the chat. We'll get to all that in a minute. But yeah, just let us know. And anything you've got, we've got great people to answer questions. So let them hear it. Can we move on, Timu, and let's introduce Timu, who is running our slideshow today. As I mentioned, Timu is from Finland. I have not met Timu in person, but I've met with him many, many times on Fabric Forge, which is a learning platform that he, Alexi, Haney, and Anton have put together. It's fantastic. There's paid versions, but there's also a free version where you can get in there and learn lots of great content about Fabric. And there's chats, so you can get in there and ask questions. Just a great resource. Timu is a great resource. Follow him on LinkedIn. He has a YouTube channel. And again, we'll get around to Timu and let him tell his story later, a lot better than I can tell it. And next we have Lakshmi. We can pop the next slide.
Yep.
There we go. All right. I had the very distinct pleasure of meeting Lakshmi down at FabCon in March. We were both part of something called the Creator Program. It was amazing. I also met Mikhail, another DataViz world champion. So I just cannot tell you how impressed I am with both of their skills. But Lakshmi is here, so let's just talk about her right now. The things that she did in 20 or 30 minutes take me 2 weeks, and mine would still be not even half as good. Just an amazing skill. But she also just gives back a ton. I mean, I follow her on LinkedIn. Tons of material out there. I know she speaks. I mean, she's just always talking about all the places she's going. So again, we're going to hear from Lakshmi a little bit later on. So hi, Lakshmi. I'm running this whole beginning, but I don't want to cut you guys out. And then me, Mike Fortman. I'm a data engineer. I've got about 30 years of experience with Microsoft SQL Server, and I've actually started learning SQL back in 1987. So I always have to talk about how long I've been around. And that's also an interesting thing I want to mention, because, I've been doing, my career is quite late, and I'm just now getting into community, and it's been amazing. I've been very happy with my career this whole time, but I'm loving it now. I mean, work is work, but there's no reason you can't also meet some great people, have resources, and just get some friends along the way. So that's a little bit about my story, but we'll talk again more later. All right, you are all in data days, and congratulations, you found this one. But if you have missed it, there have been many sessions prior and since. If we can pop into the next slide, Timo, I think we've got the, oh, sorry, I'm one ahead of myself. One big key thing about data days is you can get free certifications. So please follow that link. It'll give you all the instructions you need. And we're going to have, again, moderators will put stuff in the chat. So feel free to ask questions about the certs, but that link should have all the information you need for certification. And we're going to talk about DataViz championships more later with Lakshmi. But the key thing is right now we're in round 2. I don't know if it's too late to join. I don't think so, because I think you just have to submit before the deadline. So still time to jump in round 2, round 3. I have never joined this contest. I'm more on the data engineering side, but there are other contests besides just the DataViz. And the thing is, Lakshmi is amazing. Mikhail is amazing. I don't know all the other participants, but a lot of people participate. So jump in, do your thing. You don't have to win. You'll learn, and that's really the goal. And then, you'll also meet some great people. So I would encourage you, if you haven't got involved with the DataViz championships, there's still plenty of time, and follow that link and get involved. And coming up, Johan and Marcus are going to be doing a Data Days live on July 22nd. So again, all these Reactor sessions is a great chance to get in and ask questions, but this one is just about asking questions. So if there's anything that you've got questions about with Fabric or Power BI, get there on July 22nd. Also, in Reddit, and we'll talk about Reddit a little bit later, you can actually get your questions in there ahead of time. Maybe we can get a link into the chat if anybody's got it handy. If not, I'll grab it later when I'm not presenting. But there's already probably 15 questions out there. This is your chance to just get answers from experts real time. Don't miss it. And the nice thing is, if you miss it, it's recorded, so you can come back and still get all that great knowledge. And here we go. There's the schedule slide that I was referring to earlier. We are moving through data days pretty rapidly, but there's still a lot of great sessions coming. We're on that stop lurking session right now. We just talked about the data days hotline next week. I'm not specific to this, but I'm also giving a presentation next week about the DP800. We've got those going on. So get in the Reactor channel and find things that are interesting to you. There's just a ton of great sessions and material out there. And here we go. This is our unofficial poll. We're not going to put it up and get you the percentages, but we'd like to hear from everybody. What is your community story right now? Do you follow along but don't really type much? You're afraid that people don't want to hear what you have to say. Do you attend? Well, you're attending one live event right now if you're watching this with us. But you get involved with the chats, or do you just kind of sit back? And again, it's not just these chats, but it's also things like the Fabric blog, Reddit, Discord. Are you one of those people that gets in there and leaves comments, answers questions? That's amazing. That is, we'll get to everybody's story later. That's kind of where my story took off. And then, or are you a content creator? And again, the two people, my two co-hosts, they've got that covered. They put out a lot of great information, between LinkedIn, YouTube channels, and participating in the contest. But again, please let us know in the chat. Where are you at in your journey? All right. Next on, we've got 3 great moderators in the chat. So if we can get right first to Clarissa. She is a user group leader for a Fabric Credit Union user group. And as you see, she's a business intelligence manager. Next. Rufida Rama, we're connected on LinkedIn. I have not had the pleasure of meeting her yet, but she is a Fabric super user. We haven't talked about that yet, but if you're really involved in the Fabric blog, get out there and answer questions. That's one way you can get recognized for your contributions, and that's a great way to get involved. She's also user group leader, so again, kind of a theme here. And Kevin Chant, I have had the pleasure of meeting at FabCon. Kevin is a Power BI, MVP or platform data MVP, but he's also a developer technologies MVP, and that's really been helpful to me in the community because not everybody in the Fabric world and the data world has a lot of experience with things like GitHub and Azure DevOps. And Kevin really blends those two things together and brings a lot of that good information to the rest of us that need to learn. So I really value my relationship with Kevin. And again, this link and the whole theme of our talk is just, what are you waiting for? Get involved. We're each going to share our stories later to try to just give you some encouragement for why we think you should get involved, just for the relationships, but also for learning and potential career advancement. So community is just a great way to not only do your work and do your work better, but really start to enjoy your work. I think at this point, Teemu, I'm going to let you take over.
For sure. Thank you, Mike, for great introductions, and hello everyone in the chat from my side as well. From the super users, I think I saw at least a couple other ones on the chat. Hello, Dean, at least there. Great to see you as well. Yeah, community is your accelerator. So what do you actually get from the community? Why do something alone when you can do it with others? You are creating something, why not co-create? You are trying to learn something, why not learn together? So you will, first of all, find help from people doing similar work that you are doing. I think that's a very great thing. And for me, at least, the Fabric community is because Fabric is very new in a sense of technologies. It has been amazing being a part of the community because Fabric keeps on changing, evolving, and we need to keep the pace, learn everything there is to it when it goes forward. And doing that alone is not an option, really. It's not just possible. Yeah, learn faster and stay current with the platforms. That's pretty much the key there. It will open you doors to new roles, paths, and promotions. That's a fact. And I've heard a lot of stories, and I think we are going to hear one interesting one today from a great person here in the cast. And you'll meet new people, make friends, and rise together. I've met a lot of great people working in the Fabric communities. I've met people from other communities as well, like Azure communities, SQL communities, what have you. For example, we'll go in detail about user groups, but more on that later. But there, in smaller countries, there isn't really that many, but we'll go there later. Find validation in shared struggles and wins. So when you are struggling with something, sharing it with others, either you get some support or you can even get help and solve whatever you are struggling with. So I think that's just amazing. And filter content and noise to what matters most to you. So pick the community that fits your story and your career goals the most and find your people there. You don't need to be part of every possible community, and that's why we are here today, explaining what are the different possible communities you can take part in, because just in Fabric, for example, there are lots of ways you can get involved with the community, and that's great. And kind of based on the quiz we provided earlier, the 1 to 4, there are different ways. Observing is most fine. There's nothing wrong with just observing. You are very free. It's always nice to even have someone read or listen to what you have to say. So observers are very important. Not everyone has to contribute, and you matter a lot even though you are just observing. It's not just observing. You are part of the community at that point already. And that's a very, very important thing to know. Then you can contribute. So you can either contribute in many ways that we will be talking about more in detail, but that's how you can start your journey as well. Participating, for example, thanks everyone for being in the chat right now or watching this, participating in this session. That's a great thing that you are here, and we're happy to be here as well. If you weren't there, we wouldn't be here either. So we are most thankful for you to be here participating. And once you have observed, participated, and contributed, you can think about leading. That's somewhere along the line. You can get involved in different things, leading one of the different communities that we will be covering in a moment. But there are different ways, and that's what we are all about today. Different ways to get involved. And here's a small list. We won't be going into details right now because we are covering each of these as we go forward. But in short, user groups are mostly local groups that gather together every now and then, some more often than others. There are a couple of speakers that are sharing knowledge, and people are then listening and discussing things that are important to them. Then you have different social medias. LinkedIn is, of course, something that comes to mind, first of all, but there are, of course, others not that active, maybe, like something like, Meta-based social medias are not that active for the Fabric community at least, but yeah, LinkedIn is mostly the way to go now. Feedback programs, we have an actual slide for those, but you can provide feedback to the Microsoft product teams, and that's an important way to get involved as well. Then we have events, we have live events, we have these remote events. Welcome to this event. Great to have you here. Then, of course, we have the forums. There are forums for different Microsoft products. There are a lot of discussions, and these super users usually come from the forums. So if you go to forums, you'll most likely run into some of the people in the chat right now. And contests and create. I am not so familiar with these myself, but that's why we have the real professional of these things here with us today, and we'll go deeper into that. But of course, it's nice to have some friendly competition, as you all learn when you are trying your best. That's a thing to keep in mind as well. Do we have some preferences from the chat right now? What sounds the best for you, just from the top of your mind right now, from these options? But first of all, let's go into user groups. I myself am now an organizer in one of the user groups in Finland. And as Finland is quite low population country in the global scale, we don't have that many user groups overall. So, for example, we don't have a Fabric user group. But in most of the big countries, you have a lot of even multiple Fabric user groups. That would be my go-to first. But we have data platform user groups. We have the one that I'm most involved in is Azure and Friends. That is like more of these friendly meetings with chilling and all that kind of things. Yeah, it's where you can go to speak. It's very friendly environment most often, because it's not a conference type of speaking. You are more like someone prepares a topic that they start to speak about, and then everyone can like join in, ask questions and share knowledge. You don't need to, if you go to speak there, you don't need to know everything, but you will get support from the organizers that are usually like MVPs. Then you have people in the audience that know a thing or two about the topic you are covering. And I think that's the most important part about user groups. It's not about one person sharing knowledge, but it's like everyone sharing knowledge together, and I think that's great. And I think Mike has also a lot of experience in user groups.
Yeah, I actually presented at the Power BI DC user group just last month. So that was I presented at conferences before, but never a Power BI conference or user group. So that was my my latest experience. So it was a great time. And again, just tons of great people, other speakers, but just people I met at lunch. Yeah, user groups are fantastic.
Yeah, I think even better than the knowledge sharing has been that I met a lot of people that I can now call friends, even that we have seen each other like multiple times after meeting at the user group, and that's how you like build your network around the people that have the same interests as you. So it's great. Do we have anything else to add on the user groups?
Yes, I would like to add a story. So I think I'm a perfect example of how I was a member in a user group first, and then I got the opportunity to become one of the organizers. So I am one of the organizers of the higher education Power BI user group. So just like everyone else, right? I used to attend meetings, learn something new, say hi to people, and leave. And then over time, I became more involved, and eventually, I became one of the organizers. Once I joined the organizing team, right, I wanted to contribute in my own way. So I came up with a very simple idea. At the beginning of every meetup that we do, for the first 10 minutes, I try to demo out all the new Power BI updates that were released that month. Now, the goal here was to help others and help others quickly see what's going on. They don't have to read the entire blog post. They can just spend 10 minutes with me and see what's happening. But here's the funny part, right? So I think I am probably the person who benefits the most out of it, because if I am going to demo it out, I actually have to learn it first. So every month I am forced to get hands-on with all the new features because I need to share it with everyone, right? So I think it's great. I get to learn, my team members get to learn, and then I think it's a great way to keep your skills current. I get to share my knowledge with everyone, and that's the most beautiful part of the community. The best part is I actually met people from my higher education Power BI user group at FabCon. We had a small meetup, we gathered, and I was so happy to know that people actually remembered me, remembered my face. So that's my story about the user group.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And I love the point that you said that when you are creating the demo or the presentation or whatever, you are the one who learns the most at that point. So basically, for everyone listening right now, if you have some topic that's very interesting to you, you don't need to know everything about it. Just start gathering knowledge and creating some sort of a slideshow or a demo or whatever, and learn by doing it, and then try to get to speak at a user group. User groups are most often looking for speakers. That's something, at least here in Finland. If you want to speak at a user group, it should be quite easily done. So I'm guessing elsewhere it isn't that much of a rush there either. But yeah.
One more quick story back to the Power BI user group. Lakshmi just reminded me. I think I had 3 MVPs in the audience. I was intimidated, but they were amazing. They came up. One of them came up to me afterwards and said he learned something, and I was like, "You're kidding me!" but I know him, and I take him at his word. So even if you think like, "Oh, what could I contribute?" There's all these people out there. Trust me, Fabric. There's enough in Fabric now that nobody knows everything. So if you have anything to bring to the table, you might even influence an MVP.
Yeah. For my first talk as well, there was all the Finnish Fabric MVPs were present there. So it was
lovely.
But they are very supportive. So it was a great experience. I really recommend everyone to go and speak at a user group. First, observe, participate, and then contribute. Just remember the steps. And then you will end up like Lakshmi and be leading. So that's the step 4. But yeah, there are a lot of groups all over the globe. And just find the ones that are most convenient and most interesting for you. Yeah, as I mentioned before, for me, there are not that many. For example, my hometown, it's the only the Azure and Friends. It's quite small user group, but we are still gathering each month. It's very, very nice and cozy there. And then if I travel to the capital, there are like the Azure Finland user group and then the Microsoft Data Platform user group are the ones that are most interesting to me. But I think you two have a bit more of a variety to choose from. Would be great to hear. So what kind of user groups do you have over there?
We do have lots of user groups, like Timu, like you said, like there are a lot of in-person groups that we have, like we have the Atlanta Business Intelligence group. But something that I really like about user groups is you have in-person user groups or you have virtual. You can attend both, right? Sometimes I am not in a mood to drive all the way to a place and spend my evening after a whole day of work. What I do is I simply log in and see which user group has a virtual meeting going on. I just drop by, get 2 to 3 pointers back, and then end my day. So I think one of the best parts of the user group is go to in person, or you can attend virtually. And some of the user groups also do lunch and learns. So I think that's a great way of spending your lunch, right? Like just sit in front of your laptop, have lunch, learn something, take something back.
Sounds great. Yeah, you can also start a user group, and a thing about that was that actually what we will cover in a moment, we just created a new official user group, and I'll be happy to tell about that later. But yeah, if you want to start a user group, this is the way to go with that. But we have these different communities on social media. So we have Reddit and Discord. And I think we have a Reddit superstar here with us today. Would you like to take over, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know about superstar, but yeah, Reddit was my introduction into the community. I just kind of stumbled on it about a year ago and started answering. Well, first off, I just started reading all the content, and there's an amazing amount of content out there. But then I started answering a question here and then a question there. And then by February, I was a top 1% contributor or whatever for answering questions. I think I did that for a couple months. I'm not that anymore, but that's just because I found other avenues to get involved with. I still follow Reddit daily. There's a ton of great information out there. I mean, you've got people that are really out there in the field, working, solving real problems. They're putting them out there when they've got questions, and there are people out there giving answers. And that's particularly in Microsoft Fabric. There's also a great Power BI community and a great community for SQL. But my Reddit story is that, yeah, I just started reading, started answering, got a little more prolific in answering. I kind of met Alex Powers along the way. He's kind of one of the primary moderators of the Fabric and the Power BI and other Reddits. He connected me to a half-off deal for FabCon. He connected me to an MVP named Belinda Allen, who got me into a kind of a technical user group called Saturday Morning Learning. I met a good friend there in Saturday Morning Learning who happened to have a job opening in his company. And just back in May, I started a great new data engineering role. And I can tie that all the way back to Reddit. If I had not been out there chit-chatting in Reddit, I would not be in the role I'm in now. And it's a great job. So I'm super excited. So yeah, you just never know. I did not start answering questions on Reddit thinking it would get me a job. I just started answering questions on Reddit because other people were answering questions on Reddit. But once you just get that ball rolling, you never know where it's going to take you. So that's my story. You never know where you start, how things are end up. But getting involved has definitely benefited me. I hate to say paid off, because then it sounds like I was in it for the money. but it absolutely has paid off. It's been wonderful.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Mike, would you mind sharing your, what is it called? The Reddit username so that
Oh, yeah.
all of us can go
Sure.
ahead and look.
I'll pop it in the chat. So yeah,
Yes.
my Reddit handle is doing more with data. That's also my little caption on LinkedIn. If you saw, I have a doing more with data.io website. It's really just a GitHub with a few Fabric notebooks in it. I'm hoping to build that out. So yeah, if you ever see anybody out there chatting is doing more with data,
It's Mike.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. How about you, Timu? I know one thing that you're involved with, but I know there's more. But I think you've been pretty involved with the Fabric Discord server.
Yeah, that was actually, we founded it with Aleksi Partanen, I think last October. So we are closing in a year of Fabric Discord, and it has been a great community as well. And I met a lot of very great people through that Discord also. We have some of those in the chat as well. Kevin Chant, our moderator, and also Dean as well are both moderators in the Discord channel. So it has been great to work with them on that community. And as I mentioned, that we just created a user group. So our Fabric Discord is now also a official user group. We have been hosting these monthly sessions and will be doing so in the future as well. Kevin will be presenting something interesting regarding DP800 next week. So we have the next session coming up there. And we have like 2,500 members, I'd say, right now in the Discord. And there are a lot of great discussions, people helping each other and that kind of thing. So yeah, very, very nice way to get involved in the community as well. And my handle in the Discord channel is very, very interesting. It's Teemu Multanen, so you might recognize me there.
Yeah, never guessed.
Yeah, come and say hi in the Discord. And now we are getting to the interesting parts of the community contest. So would you like to take the stage, Lakshmi?
Absolutely. So before we talk about contests, I want all of you to write your comments in the chat and let me know how many of you have ever participated in a contest, right? It could be the Data Whiz Championship or the Quick Whiz or the Mini Whiz. Any contest you've taken part, just let me know in the chat. While you people are typing in the chat, I am going to talk straight for 5 minutes, share my story, share my learning, and share my experience, right? So one story that I really want to share is probably the biggest example of what community has done for me. Now, the very first time I entered the Data Whiz World Championship in 2025, my mindset was very simple, right? It was like, let's try it. And then I didn't get selected. The second time I thought, you know what, that was actually fun. Let me just try it again. I still didn't get selected. The third time I thought, third time might be a charm, but still no luck. By the fourth time, I honestly was ready to give up. And I was like, maybe this isn't for me. But something in the back of my mind was like, do it one last time. I did. And that's the year I became the first finalist. And something really proud is I was the only only female finalist out of the four. So I'm very proud of that as well. Then in 2026, history repeated itself. I had to keep trying every time before making it to the finals. Now, the reason I'm trying to share this story is not because I was a 2-time finalist. It's just because I almost wasn't. So if I had stopped at the first or second or third attempt, none of this would have happened, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is sometimes when we take part in these contests, we feel disappointed. And I did too. At first, I did feel disappointed that it took so many attempts for me. I started doubting myself. Am I not good enough? Or why is this happening to me? But you know what? Now I'm truly grateful because instead of having just one dashboard, now I have like 8 to 9 dashboards, which are like strong dashboards that I can put in my portfolio. So I think everything happens for a reason, right? So that every dashboard taught me something, and none of that went to waste. Now, what happened next was really interesting. Something very, very unexpected happened. So shortly after my 2025 database finale, I got a new job in higher education. I absolutely love it. My team is amazing. The work that I do is very interesting. And the best part is I get to play with Power BI every day. And I think that's a pretty good job description, if you ask me. Now, coming to the power of community, right? People started recognizing me. So when I became the finalist for the second time, I jokingly told everyone that I felt like a celebrity, not because I won, because I did not win the second time as well. But when I walked around in FabCon Atlanta, people came up to me, said hi, people cheered for me, people recognized me. And that support was so overwhelming that honestly, I already felt like a winner. I was like, I don't need to participate, I'm already a winner. And I think that's what community does, right? It celebrates people. Even your little tiny efforts are being appreciated. And you know what? The best part is after taking part in the database championship, I actually got a chance to host a contest. So we did host a contest for students, a small database competition for the students. And the best part is I actually got to meet one of the finalists of the contest that I hosted at FabCon Atlanta. And my heart was full, for me, for a person from a small place in India, moved to the US, getting an international stage just because of one simple thing that I did is give it a try. So, for everyone in the comments here, for everyone who's attending the session, when you see a contest, try to participate. Doesn't matter you win or not. People actually in the data community appreciate your efforts. And that's the end of my story.
That's a great story.
Just a real quick comment there, Lakshmi. I mean, you didn't win, and all due respect to all the competitors in the winner, but you won the crowd. I mean, they loved you. So, and it was just apparent. I mean, people really, really were excited about, because not just do they get up there and design a bunch of Power BI stuff in a hurry, which was amazing. They also then go through all 4 contestants and have them explain their dashboard, and each person had some really great insights. But yeah, Lakshmi, I really think that you definitely stole the crowd in that one. So I'm not surprised that you had people looking you up afterwards.
Thank you so much, Mike. Means a lot.
That was a very, very great point again, that even if you don't win, the important part is the journey. What you get from it, you learn things, you meet new people. You don't need to win, but you are still winning.
Yes, absolutely.
Think about it that way. It's just great community opportunity again, among the others. Now we are going more on the official side of things. So a user panel. This is a way to get in touch with Microsoft product teams. We have different user panels. I'm part of the Fabric one. There's also Fabric IQ, and then there's the SQL one. Just quickly from my side, that it has been a great experience as well, meeting the product team. I've been giving feedback on the user experience side, and also got an opportunity to give feedback on a new feature that they are building that I cannot say what it is. So you'll get to see, you can probably, maybe, see new features that they are building and give feedback, and how would you like them to work. So that's I think it was the greatest session of them all. So saying that I would like this one to work this way, and that kind of conversation with them. But what about you guys?
I did attend one user panel, and I think I totally agree with you, Timo. It's a great opportunity to actually talk to the person who is developing the product team, and it's good to know what's on the roadmap. And obviously everything is under NDA, but it's really good to know that the product is for the community. So when the community expresses their voice, I really like the fact how every member actually listens to you, gets back to you, and follow up. But I think I should be more involved. And I think after the session, the first thing that I'm going to do is go and look for some Fabric user panel to be a part of. What about you, Mike? Have you attended any of the user panels?
Yeah, I did a data warehouse in the Fabric user panel.
Okay.
And a few things I said made it, which means basically they'd already figured it out long before I mentioned it, but that's still fine because they said it was just the questions they were asking. Again, they weren't sharing trade secrets or anything like that, but just to have an opportunity to talk with Microsoft, share your ideas, kind of see the questions they ask you, it gives you an idea where the product might be heading. And it's also just great to see that they're interested in real users' input. It's not just data engineers or developers sitting, somewhere in a cubicle or whatever at Microsoft. They really do want input. So yeah, I would definitely recommend signing up for a user panel and getting your input in there.
Perfect.
Yeah. And something to add is that they are always looking for different types of users. So if you are thinking like, I don't really have anything to offer, well, you don't need to have something to offer for everything in Fabric, for example. But you can fit some of their needs. They're like, we are now looking for someone who is working with lakehouses, for example, and notebooks, let's say. And they are looking for that kind of people. And sometimes they are looking for more like business side of users that don't necessarily do any of the Fabric data engineering, for example, and all that kind of things. They want different perspectives. So your opinion matters. You are the specialist of something, the professional that they are building the platform for. So you can build for the customers. So your opinion really matters.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Timu, because there's always are going to be beginners, people starting with Fabric. So Microsoft needs to hear even from people that are having a hard time getting started, so they can make it easier. So yeah, don't think that I'm not a pro developer yet. No. If you're new, they should hear from you too. They should hear what makes it hard to get off the ground and what makes it hard to get started. So yeah, don't self-select yourself out. Get out there, get involved, and share your ideas.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, and it reminds me that I think it was like 2 months ago that they were especially looking for new users who had not used Fabric before or had just started. So they wanted the feedback from fresh eyes, I think, for the UX side of things. So how the platform works and how you can start building with it. So with all the skill levels, all the skill sets, everyone's opinion matters because more perspectives gives a better understanding of the needs overall. Yeah. Then we have a list of some people that you can follow. We won't be going to these one at a time. You can maybe take a screenshot or come back to the recording. But here are just some of the channels or people who are constantly posting about these topics in LinkedIn. This is in no way a comprehensive list of all the people sharing for the community, but these are just, I think, ones that came in mind quickly and are very consistent. But there are also a lot of other very great content creators there. And yeah.
I want to add something real quick, Timu. I had thrown down that list on the right with the YouTube live streams. Kevin Arnold is in the chat. Also today, he is every Friday, he's on the Kratos BI, which is that Chris Wagner data god. It's the Fabric Friday stream. That is just a blast. Again, you learn stuff. It's important to learn something. We don't just do this just for fun. If I wanted to just have fun, I'd join another bowling league. But I want to have fun and learn things. So, but Kevin also is a co-leader of the Dallas-Fort Worth user group, and they're not on YouTube directly as a channel, so I didn't get them in there, but Kevin did put a link in the chat. So definitely check out Dallas-Fort Worth. And the other thing I want to mention is that every YouTube live stream I mentioned there, I don't attend all of them all the time because I just don't have the time. But any one of those, you get out there and you can get involved in a chat, and it's just Timu and I have been in the Tales from the Field chat a few times before. I run into a lot of people you see on the screen. I run into in these different chats. So again, just a great way to get to know people. Really low effort, really low stakes, not a lot of pressure, but just get in the chit chat a little bit. People will start to know your name. You'll see them on another channel. You'll find them on LinkedIn, and it could just go anywhere. But one last little thing I'd like to share about these live streams. Some of these live streams I have to watch twice because I get so wrapped up in the chat that I'm not able to even pay attention to what they're talking about. So Tales from the Field is a great one. I'll be just going along in the chat or the Fabric Fridays, and then I have to watch it later just to see like what I missed. So again, really lively, very engaged, great people, a lot of great information, and just another way to connect without making a blog, something that seems so intimidating. Just chat in a live stream. That's one of my ways. That's one of the ways I got going.
I have an interesting story too. Like just Mike said, even I am so involved in the chat that I forget what the main content is. I think just last month, I had a conversation with Jeff Shoemaker. He is in the chat. Great person. I was just telling him that I'm feeling overwhelmed with everything that's happening with AI. Everything is changing so quickly. I was just ranting to him. And then we just talked, right? Just a simple conversation, although we never got something out of it. By the end of it, I felt calmer and I felt like I had a direction again. And I think that's the power of community, right? Sometimes it's not about getting an answer. It's just about knowing that you're not alone. You're not the only person who's figuring everything out alone. So thank you to Jeff, who's there in the chat today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's like one of the lowest barriers to start actively participating. So you don't have to create your own videos or create your own live streams or write those blog posts. Just go on one of the live sessions. For example, this one. Now join us in the chat, talk with each other, like start meeting people there, start contributing, and then get started there.
One quick tip to some of those, the title, the names on the YouTube live streams aren't really clear. So Sue Bays is the leader for the Devon and Cornwall user group. Power BI How To is the Vancouver and something else user group, with a couple MVPs leading it. So these many of these are user groups. Again, just a nice way to get involved to a user group that's online.
Great point. Now we are getting to the good part, or we have been at the good part for all this time, but now we are getting to the amazing one. So basically, the in-person events. Of course, we have these virtual events that you are part of right now, and you can find it in Mike also included the Microsoft Reactor as one of the YouTube channels to follow, but you also have the Microsoft Reactor website where you can find all these sessions and register to those. But I think as you have found your way here, you probably already know that. Or if you didn't, now you do. But now we are getting to the good part. So at least I am personally very excited about this because I haven't been to FabCon yet. But what is FabCon? I can share my expectations. It's a huge conference where everything's about Fabric and SQL, and you meet a lot of great people. You have amazing speaks there. You have keynotes, you have everything. You have community lounge and all that kind of things. And that's the opportunity to meet the people you see in the chat right now. So it's, at least I am very excited to be going to Barcelona this September. So hope to see many of you there. But we have actually people here who have been to FabCon. So I am passing on the mic to Mike.
Yeah. It was a great conference. I went to FabCon in Atlanta. Again, that's where I met Lakshmi. Just amazing. The only problem with FabCon is there's way too many sessions and it's hard to pick one or two to go to. And there's even been a couple times when I got caught up in the hallway, and FabCon Atlanta was huge. I was like, I got running late. I wasn't going to make the session I wanted to go to. So I just would walk down the hall, read the tags on the doors. I just walked into one. And it happened to be being put on by the DC Power BI user group leader who later selected me to speak there. So you just never know, how things are going to work out. So yeah, conferences are amazing. They call it the hallway track, where you just meet people either at lunch or in the hallways. And again, I met somebody in the hallway. It made me late for a session, but that session I dropped into might have connected me to a user group that I spoke at. So yeah, conferences are amazing. A lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. And to clarify, I think someone in the chat also mentioned it, but FabCon has been happening 2 times a year. So there has been the Atlanta one and then the European one. But I think we are now going to have one in Sydney as well. Was that the one? Yeah. So there will be a 3rd one as well. Yeah. Very, very exciting. I think the biggest community event for Fabric each year.
Yes.
Then we have the community forums that we already discussed about a little, as we have these Fabric super users. So you have these leaderboards on the forums that when you help people, you get kudos there. And then when you help a lot of people, you will be recognized even more, and you can be then nominated to become a super user. So, do you guys have something to tell about super users? Do you have experience there?
Yes, I have something to say. So I work with Power BI all the time, right? So when I'm wrestling with a Power BI problem, whether it's like DAX or Power Query or something, if something is working weird, I know exactly where to go. I directly go to my Power BI community forum. Every time I post a question, someone from the community helps me, right? And the funny part is that the person will be the other side of the world, and still I get an answer. And sometimes it could just be a community member. And the best part is I don't know that person personally, right? I mean, it's just that they're taking their time out of the day to help someone else. And I think that's what makes community special. So kudos to all the super users who try their best to answer questions. And to everyone here, if you're ever stuck with any issue, I think the best place to find your solution are your community forums. And that's the beauty of community, right? You learn together. Chances are that someone solved your problem before or is happy to solve it with you. So I've had both experiences. That's why I wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's great. Just like Mike said about Reddit, just go there, read the discussions, then you can start answering, and you'll end up being a super user if you do that consistently. But yeah, that's forums are a great place as well. And there are these different topics for the forums. Of course, you have the Fabric side, you have Power BI, you have more granular areas there. Yeah. I think user panel was already covered, but it would be great to hear how many people have actually taken part in user panels, or how many are going to be joining a user panel right now or after this session, because I really recommend checking that out. Yeah. If you want to get started, I think this slide is a perfect way to summarize what you can do. So first of all, you can make a post on LinkedIn. And the thing about LinkedIn is that your posts don't have to be perfect, but they just have to be your voice, because community wants to hear your voice. It's important in LinkedIn to just speak about things that are important to you or are interesting to you. I think that's the most important thing about LinkedIn. I myself started posting, I don't know, less than a year ago. I didn't even think about starting to consistently post on LinkedIn, or actually even posting at all. I just wrote one post, and for some reason it went kind of viral on the Fabric community. I just went back to the post, and I didn't even remember all the great people who commented on that post that I didn't meet back then, but I have been discussing after that one. But yeah, it's an amazing community as well. There are a lot of great content creators, so just go and comment on someone's post. That's where you can start, or even just engage with them. Just go and find a content creator, comment on their post. They will discuss with you. You can ask questions, share your insights, and start from there. And when you create your own posts, you can ask people to then come and comment on your posts, and that's how the dialogue works there. But it's a great place. Finding a local user group is a great place to start with as well. You can see all these great sessions there, and also in most of them you will get some pizza, so that's a big bonus as well. Do either of you want to take some of these? Do you have some strong opinions on what should someone do?
Oh, yes,
right now?
I would like to add something. So, like we've been mentioning, right? It's people need to build their presence or build your personal brand. I just want to tell everyone that you don't need like a fancy website or a professional camera to do that, right? Building your presence simply means that you're just showing up where people can see you participating, see you helping others, and it doesn't have to be like putting a very fancy YouTube video. Just a comment, just a question, or attending just one event, or giving an introduction to someone, that makes a huge difference too. And one of the misconceptions that even I had before is someone already posted about this, I should not post it. But then I realized that my experiences are different. Maybe since I work in higher education, I have a different perspective of what's going on. And someone out there in the community will surely connect with your way of explaining or your experience. So just to quick comment to everyone right here is, don't wait that you don't think that you have to be an expert to build your presence. Just one small comment, just one small question can actually take you a long way.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great
Yes.
point. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be huge. Small steps will get you there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
What
I think
about-
even consistency matters. Mike, would you like to add something on
Oh.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. You all, the three of us are here, and no promises on how things work, but I just showed up at a lot of these live streams.
Yes.
Now I'm talking at live streams. Not everybody's gonna have the same path or the same story, but if you're not out there contributing, if you're not out there participating, you're definitely not going to be found. So again, and Reddit, and just kind of putting my toe in a little bit more. Again, I can draw a straight line to my latest job opportunity. So yeah, just keep commenting on LinkedIn, going into the live streams, going to conferences, meeting people in the hallway, all that. Just keep showing up. That's how you build your network and get more friends and learn tons about fabric.
Yeah, that's a great point. What about our chat, and what about you and us? What's our number? How many of these actions have you already taken?
Yeah, let me count. I think I'm somewhere between 5 and 6, because I have joined Reddit, but I'm not participating regularly. So I'll give myself a 5.
Yeah, sounds good.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, well, actually, in the chat is somebody that I'm kind of banking on to resurrect our South Carolina user group. She knows who she is. She's out there. I told her I'd help, but she's kind of taking the lead. So I don't have a user group local yet, but I'm hoping one comes on. But I'm willing to help out. I've participated in a couple of contests, been on Discord, been on Reddit, done a user panel, certainly made LinkedIn posts. So yeah, I just about covered the gamut there. Not all in the same degree, but poke my fingers in a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I'm also at 5. Maybe I should take up a contest.
Yes.
Yeah. We are. I think
I'm sorry, just we got to wrap on time, but
wrap up.
But even with contests, I've done a couple of contests where I've just joined, got all the materials, played with the thing, didn't submit. Now I should have submitted, but but don't even if you think like, I don't want to submit, I want to just join, because you'll get the kind of the starter, the accelerator, you'll get the knowledge. So even if all you do is just take the materials to go off and work on your own, that's a start. It's not going to help you with community, but it'll definitely help you with your fabric journey.
Well said, Mike.
Yeah, but build your presence and influence. And I think that shouldn't be the goal, but it will happen when you just start showing up. So it's just community is the best way to learn and build, I think.
Absolutely.
I think we're about at time.
Yes.
But Lakshmi, I don't know if you have any last thoughts. You're gonna be our wrap up. So here you go. I mean,
I'm good. I shared all my stories, and I just hope like people get inspired by the three of us. And I really want to see everyone participating in contests, making putting out a comment on the post, or even like trying to build their speaker journey. And I'm pretty much ready to wrap up now.
all right.
Mhm.
Well, great. We can dance our way out. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
for
thank you
participating.
guys. Have a good day.
And get involved.
Yeah.
We'd love to meet you.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all for joining, and thanks again to our speakers. This session is a part of a series. To register for future shows and watch past episodes on demand, you can follow the link on the screen or in the chat. We're always looking to improve our sessions and your experience. If you have any feedback for us, we would love to hear what you have to say. You can find that link on the screen or in the chat. And we'll see you at the next one.